Up ahead, we've got dates and details for the holiday celebrations in the Trinity community.
And all of your local, national, and international news for the week.
All this and more right now on Newswave.
Creation.
Good afternoon and welcome back. Today is Friday, December 1st, and you're watching Newswave's final episode before the winter break. I'm Odalis Caballero.
And I'm Kara Reese. Trinity University has officially announced its lineup for the 2023 holiday season, bringing a weekend of cheer to the San Antonio community. The annual Christmas concert kicks off the festivities tonight in Laurie Auditorium from 7:30 to 9 p.m. This concert showcases the talents of Trinity's amazing student musicians, including performances from many of Trinity's choir groups, orchestras, and ensembles. In its 29th year, the event is free and open to the public and will also be live streamed on Tiger Network. On December 3rd, the Christian community will gather at Margaret B. Parker Chapel at 6 p.m. for Vespers, a candlelight Christmas service tradition here at Trinity. The first mention of a Vesper service was found in an edition of the Mirage Yearbook from 1925, making the tradition nearly a century old. Immediately following Vespers, students can celebrate Christmas on Oakmont by visiting the homes of many of Trinity's executives. Hence the title, students will be able to go from house to house on Oakmont to enjoy delicious treats and music. This event is also free and open to all regardless of any religious affiliation. With all these Trinity holiday traditions right around the corner, be sure not to miss out on the festivities this weekend.
In more Trinity holiday news, all students are invited to attend the annual late night breakfast. The breakfast will take place this upcoming Wednesday, December 6th at 11 p.m. in Maybe Dining Hall. Hosted by Residential Live on the first reading day of the semester, students are encouraged to come and enjoy breakfast served by faculty and staff volunteers to relax and de-stress before finals kick off the following Friday. The meal is free and open to all Trinity students, offering students the opportunity to enjoy some hot food and with friends before finals swing into full force. In previous years, the line for breakfast has stretched all the way up to Cardiac Hill, so be sure to show up on time to get a good spot in line with your friends. On behalf of Tiger TV, we not only look forward to seeing you at late night breakfast, but we wish you all the best of luck with finals this semester.
Trinity University has launched a comprehensive strategic planning process aimed at enriching the institution's future. According to Trinity.edu, this endeavor will be a collaborative journey where students, staff, parents, faculty, alumni, and donors will collectively define a shared vision for the university. Trinity's previous strategic plan, Trinity Tomorrow, officially wrapped up in May 2023. Seeking national recognition for student success, Trinity will gather input from its community to establish priorities and objectives that will align with the university's values. Surveys, focus groups, workshops, and other opportunities for engagement will be available for everyone. Trinity University President Vanessa Beasley expressed that, quote, "Every voice matters and every perspective is valued. Together, we'll spark a vision that reflects our aspirations, ensuring that our next steps and actions reflect our shared values."
At UT Dallas, a unique form of expression has been abruptly uprooted, sparking controversy and debates over freedom of speech. For years, the University of Texas at Dallas showcased 3 iconic boulders known as Spirit Rocks, which served as a platform for students to convey various messages, from political messages to Vote Blue to non-political messages such as Welcome Scholars. However, recent events surrounding the war in Gaza led a heated exchange of pro-Israelite and pro-Palestinian messages painted on these rocks. A series of photos published at UT Dallas student newspaper, The Mercury, showed that between October 11th and October 15th, the rocks were painted in the likeness of an Israelite flag and Palestinian flag with a split between the two. At noon on October 12th, one of the rocks was painted to reflect the Palestinian flag and bore the message, "No peace on stolen land." 2 hours later, half of the rock was painted white and blue in the style of Israel's flag with the message, "We are winning." The following week, UT Dallas President Richard Benson released a statement condemning the vandalism and applauding students' civil disagreements about the conflict. The university later decided to uproot these symbolic boulders, replacing them with trees, citing extended political discourse as the reason. This action followed escalating tensions fueled by student groups expressing their opinions on the ongoing conflict. The removal of the rocks ignited a firestorm of reactions. While some applauded the move, others, like senior political science student Alex De Jesus, criticized it by saying, quote, "Not only was this a 180, but also the reasoning given was hypocritical, lacking and contradictory given the 15 years of history. The rocks have been used as a forum for various student causes, including protests against issues like last year's Supreme Court overturn of Roe v. Wade. The political brutality, interestingly, the removal comes amid broad discussions about free speech on college campuses. This incident at UT Dallas reflects the changes universities face in balancing freedom of expression while addressing sensitive and divisive topics. In the wake of these events, questions loom about the role of universities in facilitating open discourse and how they navigate conflicting viewpoints without suppressing student voices. The debate surrounding the removal of these spirit rocks serves as a poignant reminder for the complexities involved in ensuring free speech in educational settings.
Still coming up, we've got your winter weather forecast.
And more information about how you can celebrate the holidays right here in San Antonio.
Stay tuned, we'll be back in 30 seconds.
At Trinity University, our history is what guides us, and it is what shapes our future. It is what ignites our spirit for innovation, for discovery, for creation, and our drive to be noticed, to make a difference, to lead. This is Trinity University. Discover, grow, become. At Trinity University.
Welcome back to Newswave. Last Friday, the decision to enact school vouchers was denied by the Texas House of Representatives in a vote whose result was 84 to 63. Consequently, Governor Greg Abbott applied pressure by stating he would continue to implement sessions to ensure the proposal's enactment, despite the year of hesitance toward passing the proposal. As of now, it is unclear about if Abbott will call for a fifth session for the proposal, since according to the TexasTribune.org, he, quote, has made it clear that he will do whatever it takes, however long it takes, to deliver that freedom for all Texas families through school choice. Members of the House are unsure of what the future looks like, with Abbott's main priority being the passage of this bill. With the seemingly incessant flow of special sessions, scheduling issues have arisen as the fourth session coincided with candidate focusings on the political plans for primary elections in March 2024. Nonetheless, Abbott said that he would, quote, politically target GOP lawmakers who block his voucher crusade. State Representative Steve Toth affirmed Abbott's commitment about stating that, quote, many of them are so resolute on this that we're going to break cause rules and we're going to support primary challengers for this proposal to occur. As the story continues to unfold with what seems like no end in sight, we here at Newswave will keep you updated.
In more news statewide, Texas State University in San Marcos is set to host the first of 4 general election debates on September 16th next year. This is a historic moment for the Lone Star State, as Texas State will be the first university in Texas to hold a presidential debate. The debate was announced by the school officials on Monday of Thanksgiving break. The decision emphasizes the university's unique place in history, being the alma mater of President Lyndon B. Johnson. As of now, details about ticket availability for the debate, which will take place at the University Event Center, remain undisclosed. This debate is particularly significant considering Texas' current political landscape, especially with recent actions by Governor Greg Abbott on border security. Governor Abbott's Operation Lone Star, involving the deployment of state troopers and National Guard members to the border, has sparked civil rights lawsuits due to the arrest of migrants crossing the Rio Grande. This choice of San Marcos over larger metropolitan areas or flagship universities like UT or at Texas A&M reflects a strategic move to avoid perceived political biases, according to Mark Jones of Rice University. In Hays County, where Texas State is located, voter turnout has seen a notable increase, further underscoring the significance of the debate's location. Hosting the debate involves considerable logistics and costs for Texas State, with an estimated expense of $5 million for additional infrastructure. The university's president, Kelly Damphouse, acknowledges the financial challenges but remains optimistic about managing the event with support from the community. The debate is seen not only as a milestone for the university, but also as an opportunity for Texas to potentially lead a return to more civil political discourse on a national level. More about the information about the event can be found at debate.txst.edu.
Up now, we've got our weekly weather update with Newswave's chief meteorologist, Luke Morton. Take it away, Luke.
Good afternoon and welcome to the final show of the fall semester. This week definitely brought those jackets to use with below average temperatures in our area. We also dealt with some clouds and rain. However, this weekend looks to be a lot nicer with partly to mostly sunny skies and highs in the mid-70s. Pretty picture-perfect weather if you ask me. You might need a light jacket if you were headed out at night, as lows should drop into the low 50s. Temperatures next week look to be a tad cooler, but overall very nice. Look for highs in the upper 60s and low 70s and highs in the upper 40s. As we get toward the end of next week, there might be some isolated showers, but nothing that could dampen any plans. Today is also December 1st, which means the beginning of meteorological winter. And you might be wondering if we're going to have a cold or mild winter. This winter we are in an El Nino pattern, where the water is warmer in the South Pacific, which typically means a cooler and wetter winter for the southern United States. The general consensus is that this winter in San Antonio will likely feature more precipitation, which will be good for our drought and near to below normal temperatures. Of course, it won't be cold and rainy every day this winter, but this looks to be the overall pattern. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in this semester, and I hope you all have a wonderful winter break and joyful holiday season. And I will see you back here in 2024.
It's the holiday season, and with that comes lots of traveling to celebrate with family and friends. According to the American Automobile Association, an estimated 55.4 million people traveled over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend by car, airplane, or even by boat. While many travelers anticipate traffic-filled roads and busy airports, what they might not have anticipated is a snowstorm piling up to 10 inches in states like Nebraska, Kansas, Michigan, and Iowa. An estimated 14 million people were under weather alerts this past Sunday, as many people began their journey home. Travelers were warned by the National Weather Service that, quote, gusty winds and heavy snow will increase hazardous travel conditions. Thankfully, most airports did not experience many interruptions, as there were only 30 reported cancellations on Sunday. However, as we continue to move into the wintry months, many holiday travelers prepare to embrace the cold and snowy weather to spend the holiday with their loved ones.
If you love holiday lights, you're in luck. A new festive Christmas promenade will take over Houston Street in downtown San Antonio, transforming the street with decorations and beautiful lights hanging from the surrounding trees. Even if you're returning home for the holiday season, you can still check out many of the fun events that began in November 24th and will last through January 2nd. This holiday on Houston Street will feature a taste-tacular table that stretches an entire city block, where guests can sample local treats. Some of these local restaurants include Sojourn, Double Standard, and Range. There are multiple options for a taste of holidays, like a dinner for two with different pairings of drinks, with tickets starting at $150. For those sticking around after finals wrap up, more pop-ups and lights will be featured between December 15th and 17th, put on by Centro San Antonio. Unlike the tasting activity, the market is completely free and open to the public. If you have the chance, be sure to go out and enjoy the warmth of the holiday in San Antonio at one of any of these events.
Still up ahead, we've got more information about the 2024 election cycle, as well as current events from around the world. All this and more right after these short messages.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
How far you go in life depends on your being tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, and tolerant of the weak and the strong. Because someday in life you will have been all of these. All of us want to do well, but if we do not do good too, then doing well will never be enough.
Sierra Leone has lifted the nighttime curfew it imposed after a breakout from Freetown's Padema Road prison. While the number of escaped prisoners has yet to be confirmed, it is suspected that several soldiers who were accused of plotting a coup against the president were among the prisoners released. The prison break caused panic in the area as residents were recommended to stay inside and international flights of the country were canceled. According to BBC.com, President Julius Maad Bio said most of the leaders behind the prison break have been arrested but gave no information about the perpetrators or their intentions. President Bio was recently re-elected in June and won by a very narrow margin. Many questions have been raised regarding the election, as many internationals observe that, quote, condemned inconsistencies and lack of transparencies in the count, as well as acts of violence and intimidation. While the curfew has been temporarily lifted and the situation in Sierra Leone remains unstable, as recently as Sunday, the BBC witnessed armed soldiers in Freetown using a siege police vehicle and saw others chanting, quote, clean Sierra Leone. As events continue to transpire in Sierra Leone and around the globe, Newswave will be sure to update you on the developing situation.
Last Sunday, United States commercial tanker ship NV Central Park, carrying phosphoric acid linked to an Israeli company, was attacked by 5 unknown armed hijackers. A distress call was sent out by MV Central Park, and the USS Mason, a guided missile destroyer and part of the Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group, also operating in the Gulf of Aden, quickly responded. Upon the USS Mason's arrival, the 5 armed hijackers disembarked the ship and attempted to flee in a small boat. The USS Mason then pursued the attackers, who eventually surrendered. Early on the next morning, the U.S. Central Command reported that 2 ballistic missiles were fired from Houthi-controlled areas in Yemen in the direction of the USS Mason as they were concluding their response. Fortunately, there were no injuries or damages reported as missiles landed in the Gulf of Aden, approximately 11 miles from the ship. Analysts report the attack supports Iranian benefactors while also bolstering the Houthis' position in Yemen, which has grown unstable as the civil war continues to be fought without resolution.
The most recent numbers suggest that 240 Palestinians have been released from Israeli prisons as part of an agreement with Hamas involving the return of 100 Israeli hostages taken on October 7th. Notable among the released prisoners is teenager Mohammed Al-Awar, who spent 16 months in jail. His mother expressed mixed feelings about the release due to the loss of lives in Gaza. Another teenager who was freed from custody, Abdurrahman Al-Sagai, is receiving medical treatment after being shot in the head in August. Large crowds in the West Bank celebrated the return of detainees by waving Palestinian flags and parading on people's shoulders. Israel has identified 300 Palestinian prisoners, mostly teenage boys, who are eligible for release under the agreement with Hamas. The deal brokered by the government of Qatar initially involved the release of 50 Israeli hostages by Hamas in exchange for 150 Palestinian prisoners. The deal also included an extension clause by which the ceasefire could be extended by 1 day for a period of 5 days. The agreement has been tentatively extended for the past few days with the exchange of 10 Israeli hostages for 30 Palestinian prisoners, taking place daily. However, the future of this peace is quite uncertain, as the tentative agreement is set to expire today, Friday, December 1st. We here at Newswave will continue to keep you up to date as more information becomes available.
With 2024 right around the corner, all eyes are on the White House as presumptive nominees President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump look to square off again. In addition to the potential electoral rematch next year, the stage has been set for widespread turnover in the United States Congress. With less than a year into the 2024 elections, more than 39 members of Congress have announced that they will not seek re-election. The turnover doesn't seem to forecast a major political upheaval for either party in either chamber. However, certain retirements have the potential to generate competitive races in the upcoming year. West Virginia's Democratic Senator Joe Manchin has stepped down, setting up a race that could jeopardize the razor-thin majority his faction enjoys in the Senate. Meanwhile, in the House, Republican Representative George Santos has been removed from office following a recent release of damaging House Ethics Committee reports. The report detailed a pattern of blatant campaign finance violations, alleging that Santos used his campaign to defraud Republican donors. Around 10 a.m. Central Time this morning, Santos was officially removed his seat in a 311 to 114 vote on the House floor. Finally, a politically relevant retirement in Texas came from Democrat Colin Allred. Allred has abandoned a re-election campaign in the House, intending to unseat incumbent Senator Ted Cruz. The fourth-generation Texas and former NFL football player is confident that he can flip Cruz's seat blue for the first time since 1988. Despite Cruz's incumbency and Allred's recent entry into politics, according to ABCNews.com, He assured voters that, quote, "I'm battle-tested. I know how to do this." As we receive more updates on upcoming election in Texas and nationwide, Newswave will be sure to keep you updated.
To finish out the semester, we've got a few more stories along with your weekly sports update. Stay tuned and we'll be right back after the break.
Hey guys, how are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I bring the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
In a surprising turn of events, the recently ousted CEO of OpenIA and creator of the widely used IA software ChatGPT, Sam Altman, is set to return to the company after a swift and tumultuous sequence of events. Following his abrupt dismissal, OpenIA faced internal strife and external pressure from investors, prompting a shakeup within the company's leadership. Microsoft, a significant investor in OpenIA, provided them with around $10 million, made quick moves to hire Altman and another co-founder, Greg Brockman, to spearhead a competitor program at Microsoft. This action spurred a massive response from OpenIA's workforce, with almost all 770 employees petitioning for Altman's reinstatement and the resignation of the board that ousted him. Microsoft, while welcoming OpenIA employees, expressed willingness for Altman's potential return, provided governance and board issues are resolved. Altman's comeback, accompanied by a new board featuring prominent figures like Brett Taylor and Larry Summers, signals a potential shift in OpenIA's direction and stability in the meantime. Brockman unveiled a new feature called ChatGPT Voice, where users have the ability to talk with ChatGPT and will respond back, showcasing the technology amidst the ongoing company turbulence.
For your weekly sports update, here is Newswave sports editor Caleb Reed.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the final Newswave sports segment of the semester. And let's get right into it. Covering Trinity sports, and only Trinity sports this time, there's been a lot of activity since our last meeting, starting with football. The Tigers won their first playoff round here at home with a resounding 20-6 victory that was far more impressive than the scoreline suggests. Quarterback Tucker Horn had 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, with both of those going to fellow fifth-year senior Ryan Merrifield in their final home game in the maroon and white. Unfortunately, they couldn't keep up with the number 1 rated North Central Cardinals, falling in a 28-71 final score up in Illinois. The loss puts Trinity's final record at 10-2, finishing the year undefeated at home. It also wraps up the careers of numerous Trinity players with a combined 41 seniors and super seniors on the team. Additionally, Trinity Volleyball moved through the NCAA regional tournament with 3 straight victories, though these did not come as easy as the others throughout the year. The Tigers won 3-1 in 2 of their 3 games, with their second match against future SAA rival Barry going to a 5th set, which Trinity won 3-2. Trinity advanced to the Elite 8, where they lost to number 2 ranked Juniata 3-1 in a tightly contested final set. On to basketball. Both the men's and women's teams have played outstandingly to this point in the young season, with the men undefeated at 5-0 and the women at 4-1. Following departures of key contributors such as AJ Clark and Ashlyn Milton on both teams, many wondered who would take the step up to lead both of those respective teams. They found their answer in the freshman class with massive early season play from Christian Green and Jamie Reedy in their first 5 games. Green opened the season with incredible play throughout the opening 5 games, breaking in his career with 2 massive dunks against Mary Hardin Baylor on Tuesday night. The men won their match against the Crusaders in dominating fashion with an 83-64 final and have won all 3 home games by a combined score of 256-210. Over on the women's side, Trinity got off to some big early season wins, but fell in their most recent game in Abilene, Texas against Hardin-Simmons University. The team saw the departure of all-time leading 3-point shooter Ashlyn Milton, but the mantle was picked up well by freshman Jamie Reedy, who has been electric in her opening as a Tiger. Reedy was critical in the Trinity Invitational, which saw her nail 7 of her 10 shots from deep in just the first home game alone. Reedy has gone 17 of 30 on the season from deep so far, the best of anyone on the team so far this year. After their basketball games later today, both teams will take a break for finals before they return to the court on December 15th and December 16th to play back-to-back conference opponents here at home.
As noted earlier in the episode, the difficult process of the hostage exchange between Israel and Hamas has carefully progressed in the past week since the ceasefire. On Sunday, President Biden confirmed that 4-year-old Abigail Moore Adon, an Israeli American, was among those released. Abigail's heartbreaking story, captivated many in the United States and worldwide as she witnessed her parents killed before her as she was abducted in the October 7th attacks. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan told CBS News that he has, quote, confidence that all the individuals being held hostage will come home. Israel has publicly said that it is willing to extend its fighting pause one day for every of the 10 hostages released. Throughout this week, the world has watched as the fragile peace between Israel and Hamas has been tentatively extended day by day. The White House remains in close contact with authorities in Qatar and Egypt, as well as Israeli officials who have assisted in brokering the hostage release deals. These hostage deals have reunited families on both sides of the fighting and helped to reunite Abigail with her family back home.
That's all the time we have for this week.
Since it's our final episode of the semester, we would like to thank everyone who helped make this show possible and wish everyone good luck on their finals.
Thanks for tuning in and have a wonderful winter break.